Hi friends, in chapter 12, the Antimatter Motorbike is a flying bicycle. How many of you think that Frank and the gang are going to win the science fair? How many of you think maybe not? I don't know, I'm having a bad feeling about it. And the only reason I have a bad feeling about it is because that Edison guy is watching. So, let's see what happens in chapter 13. And here we go. We're on page 108. Good morning, Einstein, says Grandpa Al, pouring Frank some cornflakes. Frank plops down in the kitchen chair and yawns, but still cracks a smile and answers, Good morning, Einstein. Cornflakes, says Watson, already there and ready to go, as loud and awake as Frank is not. He holds a single cornflake up to the light. This is what I'm going to invent next. Frank chews his mouth full of cereal, sleepily, slowly. I think they've already been invented. No, I mean something like cornflakes. Something that is such a good idea that it seems like it's always been around. Did you know that they were invented by accident? No, says Frank. But why do I have a feeling you're going to tell me anyway? It's 1894, says Watson, ignoring Frank. The Kellogg brothers are making some serious dough to squeeze through rollers and flatten out. But then they both have to leave the room for some reason. I'm not sure why. Maybe their mom is calling them. No, wait. They were grown-up guys by then. I guess it's not part of this story. Which is why you should probably leave it out, says Frank. Right, says Watson. Forget that part. So, they have to leave the room, they come back, and guess what? The dough is all dried out. They don't want to waste it though, so they run it through the rollers anyway. Okay, now this is getting really exciting, teases Frank. But when they run the dry dough through the rollers, it breaks into flakes. They're delicious. Everyone loves them. And now they've been around for more than 100 years. Which just might happen with Watson's universal... Oh wait, Grandpa's talking, you guys. Which just might happen with Watson's universal strength peanut butter bubblegum, says Grandpa Al. He checks his full-scale model of the first atomic clock on the kitchen wall. Speaking of which, we'd better get you boys over to City Hall so you can get set up. Big day today. The thought of today's science prize and the Antimatter Motor flybike, what it could mean for Grandpa Al, what it could mean for science, wakes Frank up in an instant, but rings the Dimetrodon. Frank answers, Hey Mom, hey Dad. Bob and Mary Einstein, still in their orange parkas, appear on the Dimetrodon screen. Hi darling, we can't talk long. There's something happening down here with that orange zone you mentioned. It's the ozone, dear, honey, says Bob. Right, the ozone. Seems like it's got a hole in it. Yeah, there's a bad thing going on with CFCs, Frank begins to explain patiently. Yes, but anyway, we just wanted to call and wish you luck at your science fair today. Thanks, Mom. I'm hoping to win the big prize. Remember the trophy Grandpa won when he was a kid? Did you do that model of a volcano with flour and seltzer like I did when I was your age? Asked Bob. That's a classic. Not exactly, says Frank. It's baking soda and vinegar, and they do react in a pretty neat multi-step reaction to form carbonic acid. NaHCO3 plus Hc2H3O2 to NaC2H3O2 plus H2CO3, which decomposes into water and bubbles of carbon dioxide, H2CO3 to H2O plus CO2. But actually, I finally figured out how to power my old flying bike invention with a real antimatter motor I made with Watson and my robot pals. The picture link fuzzes for a split second. What? Says Mary. We didn't hear all of that. But it's wonderful that you're riding bikes with your friends. We're heading home tomorrow, says Bob. See you in a couple days. Love you, sweetie. Love you guys. Bye. Frank turns to Grandpa Al. You let your own kid make a volcano model? Grandpa Al smiles and shrugs. He loved it, and I made a very nice imitation lava flow. Now come on, pack up your flybike and peanut butter bubblegum, and let's blow this pop stand. Below this pop stand is another one of those mysterious Grandpa Al sayings where you know what he means, but you really have no idea what he just said. Frank jumps up and hustles to his laboratory. "I've got my peanut butter bubble gum right here and all ready to go," says Watson. "Want another piece?" "Maybe later. I'm still trying to unstick." "Oh wait, it's Grandpa talking again." "Maybe later. I'm still trying to unstick my right molars," says Grandpa Al. "But hey, on second thought, it might be just what I need." He pulls his bongo drum out from under the table and smooths a piece of Watson's universal strength gum into a crack in the wood. Grandpa Al plays a quick couple of beats and gives Watson a thumbs up for his invention. Frank flings open the door to the lab. "Time to fly!" He pulls the blue tarp off the Antimatter Motor fly bike. "Okay, clink and clank, we are Antimatter flying out of here. We'll be back in a couple hours with the Midville Science Prize trophy and the cash." Frank waits for a second to hear a sarcastic crack from Clink and a bad joke from Clank. But there is nothing. "Clink? Clank?" Frank looks around the lab. It suddenly seems very empty. Frank leans the Antimatter Motor flyback against the wall and looks out into the yard and junk pile. "Clink! Clank!" Nothing. No one. No robots. Frank instantly knows that something is seriously wrong. Clink and Clank did not just step out for what Grandpa Al would call a constitutional. Frank hurries back inside and examines the whole lab for a clue. Nothing. No, wait. There on the paper plans. Small black specks. Dirt? Pepper? Frank wets a finger, picks up a piece, and looks more closely. It's some kind of insect leg. Who would leave an insect leg behind, and why? Frank crushes the disembodied leg between his fingers and smells it. A sharp acid chemical scent, like really intense magic marker, fills his nose. "Frank, come on, let's go," Watson calls from the kitchen door. Frank drops the insect leg. He carries his Antimatter Motor flybike into the kitchen and gives Grandpa Al and Watson the bad news. Clink and Clank have been robot napped. Friends, Clink and Clank are missing. What do you think happened to them? Yeah, I'm going to take a guess, just like you, and say maybe Edison took them? I could be wrong, but that's my guess. Is that what you guys are thinking? Well, let's find out in the next chapter.